I want to share with you one of my favorite ways to create a really profitable program. Yes, the magical 1K per day. And we're talking about the idea of micro cohorts. Okay. These are my favorite ways now to create paid premium programs beyond courses. We're adding live components. We're adding in kind of part-time accountability, but without a full Facebook group. And we have start, stop dates. And I'll link to a bunch of videos I've done about this topic. But today let's talk about the magic, right? Because I think that most people creating paid products and paid programs, say that 3 times fast, the naming is kind of safe. It's boring. It's here's my get healthy system, or maybe my anti-aging program, or how to build your TikTok business. And there's nothing necessarily unique or memorable about it. And what I recommend you do, and what I always do in my business, is first step is figure out your brand, which is really a way. So I'm not talking about branding and like annoying stupid business cards and a logo. I'm talking because a brand really is your vibe. That's the thing. It's like, what's that energy you're giving out? Are you more serious and straightforward? Are you more like boot camp style? Are you more woo, right? Crystals and everything's great, more empathetic? Are you more like, yo, dude, I'm a bro? Are you so you've got to figure out what your vibe is. And even with me, like my stuff, like it's fun, it's playful, it's retro. I'm speaking to people who are kind of Gen X adjacent. It's not just figuring out your brand and your vibe. It's then creating names that are directly related to it that make sense. So for example, my brand is fun and playful, and I mix in a lot of kind of 80s pop culture stuff. So if I called my program, the $1 million webinar system or $1 million course, it's a little bit off brand. Yeah, it might work, but it's not really directly related to my vibe, nor is it different or unique. So some of the courses I've created lately, like my micro cohorts. So here are some of the unique names. So I did one that just recently, it was about creating PDF powered memberships. So instead of calling it PDF memberships, I called it old school, right? And that played into this idea of printable, old school, analog, right? Getting off of digital. It felt different. It felt unique. It was a little bit more playful, again, which matched my brand. I'm not saying you should do that in your business because it might not be the right thing. And this is where people make mistakes. They see it working for me. Their brand is totally different. And they try to do a different, unique name. And then it falls flat and they wonder why. And they come to me, Ryan, I just did what you did. I said, but don't be me. You have to be you. So another one I did a couple of years ago, I partnered up with someone called Travis Fable. We did a list building, but instead of calling it, build your list, it was more fun and playful. I called it My Piece, right? And it also shows, by the way, and I'll do another lesson about this, about how to partner up with people for some of these micro cohorts, because that's a really, really good way to create income, especially as you're doing the right marketing and attracting new people, because you can't know it all. Yes, I know how to build a list, but I'm not as good at building a list as Travis is with paid traffic. So I brought him on. He did the heavy lifting, my audience, and I had a really nice payday. And we ran a 2.0 version of that. So that was another version. So another one I did recently, let me think of, I did one called Free Play, which was a program about giving away your courses on the front. I had one of my students who was really successful in the speech pathology market. He created programs where he actually gave it away on the front, and he monetized on the back with open, closed micro cohorts. Again, a change of the model, but still using a name that was fun and unique and different to kind of what I was bringing to it. And those are just a few examples. I have another program coming even right now. I'm not going to reveal it on this, but you'll see it soon. Instead of even calling this new program where I'm going to teach micro cohorts, and it's very meta, right? I'm doing a micro cohort, teaching a micro cohort, but I'm not going to call it micro cohorts. I'm thinking of a different name that's going to be a little bit more on brand to what I'm doing. So my challenge for you today is to get creative with your micro cohort names. Think of something that is on brand, that has a certain vibe to it, whatever it is you're going for. Again, if you're more hardcore boot campy, maybe your thing is called the something, the carnivore boot camp or whatever it is, right? If it's more out there, it could be something with livening up or inner star child. I do this all in one take, no edits. So I'm just free flowing here with you. But when it makes sense and it matches your brand, your vibe, and you put together interesting creative names, it just works. I have a friend of mine, though. He fights me with this. And he's a really smart marketer. He's been online for 15, 20 years. He struggles with the idea of coming up with unique names. He's scared that it's not necessarily people aren't going to get it, right? So, for example, let's say, let's use the example of old school, right? I had this thing teaching PDF branded, PDF powered memberships. So I called it old school. If you just came into my world today and saw it, it wouldn't make sense, right? It wouldn't. You say old school, what does that mean? However, if you're doing marketing the right way, right, and you're building your flywheel, you've got the G, which is the grow, which is whatever your traffic's going to be, right? Then you're leading them to your list, which is going to be the T, which is type, which is your email, and you're building that. And then you're emailing, and then there's monetization, which what I call bank. Then they start to kind of get it. They start to get into your world and start to understand what it is you're about. And what happens is over time, the name of your product or program becomes the thing. So now people are saying, because I launched Old School and I've been talking about it for a couple of weeks, like, oh man, okay, Ryan, I went through your program and here's my Old School membership. It is really interesting when that happens. As opposed to if I called it PDF continuity. Hardcore marketers might get it, but the general population isn't. And yeah, it's very straightforward what it is, but I think it lacks that interesting, kind of cool, fun, hip, sexier kind of connotation where it just feels a little bit different than what everyone else is doing. And I urge you to chase different. Don't just watch what everyone else is doing and try to copy them and mimic them and worry about a name that isn't necessarily on the money. If you would have said the word Amazon 30 years ago, we thought it was the river, right? You never would have thought it was an e-commerce company that basically sells books, shoes, and houses, right? You wouldn't have put that together, but the name becomes the thing it is you make it become. Say that 3 times fast. But that really is the key to it. So I hope this helps maybe inspire you with some interesting name for your programs, your micro cohorts. And if you're interested in learning one, I should have said this earlier, just drop in the word cohorts below. And this is now the second whiteboard video I'm doing. If you're liking this, if you want more whiteboard, show me you want it by liking this video and subscribing and sticking around because there's another video coming up. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to share the video next, which dives deeper into this old school PDF methodology. So again, you have a couple of things. Number one, drop the word cohorts below. Let's dive into micro cohorts. And number two, like and subscribe. And number three, watch this next video We're kicking it old school, baby. Whiteboard, old school PDF. I'll see you on the inside.